Hello everyone, I'm Shiro and welcome to my first impression / review video for the Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. It's going to be pretty much like my video I did for Dagashi Kashi in that there's going to be a drawing in the background that I finished earlier today. And I've just finished watching the third episode, so I'm going to be talking about what I think of it, what I think of the first 3 episodes, what I think of the show going forward, whether I'm going to be watching it more so, what I'm interested in finding out, and stuff like that. So without further ado, let us begin. I'm going to start by saying that the first 3 episodes each kind of follow a very kind of steady progression. In the first one, nothing really happens. You see their kind of struggle to fight creatures in this new world. You kind of get introduced to the characters, you kind of get introduced to the background of the kind of story, which is that they've magically appeared with no memories or recollections of their I guess, the world that they came from. And yet they find themselves in this fantasy world, which is very kind of Dungeons and Dragons. They've all got their own little classes, and they all sign up to be adventurers. And I think it's called volunteer soldiers. And you see them fight goblins, and they can't even manage to do that. And that's pretty much the first episode. And then the second episode shows them struggling, and they finally manage to fight one goblin. And they finally kill it, and you can see that there's both joy and there's both kind of fear. And you can see their conscience really trying to say, like, look, you just killed an innocent creature. Like, this isn't something you're used to, and they know that, and they can feel that. And it really does seem kind of realistic to what the world would seem like to you if you were just magically transported into this fantasy world with no memories of who you were. It really does seem to match what you'd expect, what would realistically happen. You wouldn't realistically be the super powerful warrior like you are in all of the kind of fantasy RPG games you play. You would be like a scared, like, helpless, normal human being that has to try and make a living. And then in the third episode, you see them finally start to get the hang of it. They go around, they kill a bunch of goblins. But the third episode seemingly is also a lot more character-driven, character-based. The second episode was pretty much just a fight scene. That was the main thing that happened. There's a few bits of comic relief. For example, at the end of it, you see the boys sneak into the bathroom when the girls are in there. Which is, the traditional kind of funny thing to do, I guess. So there was a little bit of kind of character development and a little bit of fun going on there. But it was mainly just fighting. And the first episode was very much kind of more serious. It was like, this is happening. These like 12 or so people have been transported. They've split into 2 groups. One of the groups contains all of the strongest people, and you see them all, and they all look kind of badass. And you haven't really seen them much. I kind of want to see them more. Hopefully we'll find out more in the next episode. Hopefully we'll find out a little bit more about the actual plot as well, because there wasn't much to do with story development in the last 3 episodes. The first episode was very much the story episode, because it introduced the story. The second one, like I said, it was just kind of a fight scene. You got to see the characters in action. You got to learn how they got each of their classes, how they work together. That was kind of cool. It's kind of a different form of character development. Instead of actually developing their story and who they are, it shows you how they all work together, and what they've become as such, which is cool. I like that. And then the third episode was very much more like, this is each of these characters feels this kind of way, and they're all kind of talking to each other. The majority of the episode, I think it's like a 22-minute episode. About 15 minutes of it was just conversations, which is good, which is really, really good, because it's very, very character-driven. Very, very character-driven. It genuinely does feel like kind of Dungeons and Dragons, where it is about the characters, and you do grow attached to the characters, and they're the ones on this story, and you're watching that, and you're going along with that. And it really does feel like that, and that's really, really cool, because I really like that. Like I said before, the art is fantastic. The art is absolutely gorgeous. I found that out especially when drawing it. The hair kind of annoys me. I don't know why, just looking at it annoys me. Drawing it annoys me even more, because there's so many like curves and so many like sweeping like bangs down the side of their face and stuff. It's so annoying. But the art style is absolutely fantastic. It's by A1 Pictures. They're the guys who made Working. They made Sword Art Online. They've made a ton of stuff. You expect high quality from them, and they definitely delivered with this. I've mentioned before that the backgrounds in that show are absolutely amazing, and I stand by that. They still are. All in all, it was entertaining. It was very fun. It was very interesting. I enjoyed learning about the characters, what we did learn about them. They're very human. They're very relatable. They're very realistic. They don't, however, seem to have any kind of relatable kind of memories or like events in their lives. They seem to kind of have hints that they might know it. For example, in the end of the third episode, one of the kind of the more leader-like character in the group asks the main character, Haruhiro, who is the guy I'm drawing, if he likes him, if they're friends. And he's like, yeah, of course we are. And the leader guy, I can't remember his name, I think Minato, I think that's his name, kind of goes, I get the feeling I wasn't very much liked wherever we came from. And so they get these kind of feelings about, what life might have been like for them before they randomly appeared in Grimgar, but they don't really know. It's not a conscious memory, it's in their subconscious somewhere. And it'll be really, really interesting in the coming episodes to kind of dive into that more and see why they're here and where they came from. One of them mentioned in the second episode, I think, that they don't really know where they came from or what they're doing or where this world is, but all they know for certain is that the moon in the world they came from wasn't red, because in Grimgar the moon is red. And so they're pulling on symbols and pulling on ideas that kind of draw them back to their own world, and it's really, really interesting to see. And like I said, it'll be really, really fun and really cool to actually dive further into that. And I also hope we see more of the second group, because they're apparently really strong, or at least compared to the main group. So it'd be really, really cool to see how they're doing, what's up with them, kind of learn a bit about them, because we've only heard them by name, and I don't even think we've heard of all of them by name. But yeah, it seems to be progressing quite well. They're all kind of getting along now. They hunted quite a few goblins in the last episode, so I think one of them bought like a bunch of food, one of them bought a new dagger and a new pair of underwear. They're all kind of relishing in the fact that they earned some very, very mediocre amount of money that actually allows them to live for the next couple of months. It's following a very, very interesting track, and I can't wait to see more from it, and I can't wait to just stare at the art, like mouth-wateringly. Just, it is so, so pretty. It looks so amazing. I love it. I wasn't expecting to really like this show that much. I think I said this in my other first impressions video thing that I did for the whole season. I just expected Sword Art Online. I am blown away by how not Sword Art Online it is. It's very, very kind of relatable, realistic. It's just so much better. It's so much more driven. It's so much more story-based, so much more character-based. There is a little bit of fan service here and there, but it's what you've come to expect nowadays. So it's not anything to kind of drag the series down as such. It's very good, and I can't wait for the fourth episode. I think my review of the fourth episode will be coming out on Wednesday next week. I know the episodes air on Sundays, at least in the UK they do. But so does Dragon Ball Super episodes, and I'm going to be reviewing them as soon as possible, because it is Dragon Ball. But it's good. Grimgar is very, very good so far, and I can't wait to see the next episode. I would say between Grimgar and Dagashi Kashi, I like Grimgar more, just because, I do love kind of RPGs and fantasy and stuff, and it definitely goes along with that a lot more than my like for Japanese sweets, because I don't particularly know or like many Japanese sweets. But yeah, it's very, very good, and I'll leave it at that. There's not really much else to talk about. It's kind of a short video, and it's been about 10 minutes now, so I kind of want to start wrapping up. But yeah, So if you enjoyed this video, if you liked my review of episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, then leave a like. If you want to see more reviews and more videos from me, you can subscribe. I have a gaming channel as well. You can check that out. There'll be a link in the description. And I will see you all again very soon. Goodbye! Or rather, he's a lazy-ass son of a bitch that only does what he absolutely has to do, and nothing more.